Hello, hello, hello. It's Kathy Bedell at mystampinspot.com. Sorry I'm a little late. I know I promised 10 and then I was late for that. So, while I'm waiting for a few people to tune in here. Sorry, I'm just taking a drink of coffee. I just want to talk about my Stamp Club by Mail. This is a shaker card. It's got cute little lightning bugs in it. It's all three-dimensional. It's got the foams. You're going to get the foam pieces for this. The adhesive. They're kind of like dimensionals, but they're in strips. So you will get those. You make 2 of these. You'll make 2 of these beautiful cards. And you will get the flowers that you'll hand trim, the ribbons, the labels, everything. Hey, Jennifer, how are you today? 2 of these cards, you'll get everything die cut and ready to go. And 2 of these, pay no attention to my mishap here. I put this boat too high up. And when I tried to move it down, the glue stayed. So yours won't have that extra black mark. Oh, Jennifer, thank you. So, and this will all be die cut for you. You'll get all the pieces you need. So this is Stamp Club by Mail. It's $28, 8 cards, and you get a package of the beautiful Flora DSP. You get a package of the iridescent pastel gems, and you get a full spool of the Pool Party grosgrain ribbon. Hey, Karen, good morning. So, that's the Stamp Club by month. Like I said, 2 of each card. I love this card. I don't know why I love it so much, but I just do. Including 2 shakers. So that's that. And before we start our fun fold, these are the make and takes for the month. You get 2 of each. Usually I do 4 cards. You're getting 6 this month. Good morning from Missouri. So if you make a $35 purchase prior to shipping and taxes, the hostess code's down the bottom, and I will send you the 6 card kits. These are all cut, and oh, thank you. That's so nice to say. Thank you. These are all cut and ready to go. Directions are written. They will ship out starting Monday. Okay. Well, I cannot get enough of Irresistible Blooms. It's an online-only exclusive, and I know we've talked about this. Hey, Kathy. I know we've talked about it, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. We're going to make a fun fold with this today. Hey, Pat, good morning. Oh, it's snowing there already. We're expecting ours tonight. In fact, I was supposed to have an in-person stamp club tonight, and I pushed it off because some people come like 45 minutes or almost an hour, and I was afraid they'd have trouble getting home. So, okay. Here we go. Stay safe there, Pat. Yeah, Jennifer, this is awesome. This is awesome. And I am just going to say, these loose frosted gems, see how I mark my containers open? So I know, and I don't make a mistake. 50. We were close to that yesterday. These are currently unavailable. But if you order the Irresistible Blooms class, I do have enough, I think, for everybody that's going to purchase them. I prepare for X amount of classes a month. I typically sell out. If I have 1 or 2 left, then I offer them up as bingo prizes. Which, don't forget, next Tuesday's bingo. Free bingo. Tuesday night bingo. All right, let's get going on this so we're not here all day. So, again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but here are the dies. I've also pre-die cut. These are the stylish shape dies. I've also pre-cut those. So that's what you know. So there's my stamp set. I just brought over the DSP simply to show you that the dies cut the images perfectly. So there you go. So that is what I am using from what I die cut. I also have white and Flirty Flamingo. Flirty Flamingo was a big color yesterday, so I thought, well, I'll grab it again today. And I also, as you can see, I die cut leaves. Where are my friends that make fun of me for wasting scrap paper and big sheets of paper? We're not using this stamped side, but the scrap was stamped and I die cut on the other side because no one's ever going to see it. So these are awesome leaf dies that are in the Irresistible Blooms too, and I just really like them. So I pre-die cut those, and I die cut 3. Well, truth be known, no, these were from a class that we didn't use. So Joelle actually cut these ones here. 3 of these stitch square die cuts, and an assortment of the leaves and flowers. And hopefully this is enough and I don't have to bore you with more die cutting. Okay, thank you. Hey, Jane, thanks for joining us. Cold in Wisconsin, I bet. Okay, let's get going here. Thank you for sharing, Corinne. All right. Let's get to it. Look, I have my cheat sheets. I had it all worked out this time. So I'm going to cut a base at 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to do that in Flirty Flamingo. So, 8.5. So I want to score it 4 1/4, like so, and cut it at 5.5. So now we have an 8.5 by 5.5 inch base. Well, actually we have 2, but we're only going to use 1. Then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to score at 2 1/8 inch. Those that follow me, this is very different for me. However, that said, it's not difficult. Okay, it's going to be a little pop-up card here. All right, where's my bone folder? You want to get good creases on these. Okay, so you see what I'm doing? I folded it like accordion style, like a zigzag, okay? All right, now, from my DSP, I want to cut 2 panels for here. So I'm going to choose something different than the flowers. Let's see, let's see what this looks like. Ooh, that's kind of pretty. Let's see what this looks like. Although I hate to cut these flowers because, ooh, I like that. I do like that. Let's see if I can find something similar. Oh, there we go. That's kind of similar. I can't believe I'm going to do it, but I'm going to cut this floral paper because I do like that this has the pinks and the yellows, just to bring a little more color to it because my card is going to be a little bit plain. So I'm going to cut this at 2 inches by 5 3/8 inches. So there's my 2 inches by 5 3/8. Let's see, 1, 2, 3/8. And I am going to save this because I do like to use these little pieces. See, this was one from yesterday to stamp on. I'll show you how that's best used. So this is a part of my Irresistible Blooms class, but this piece I die cut from just a little end scrap. And that's the only one that has it. All right, so I need another one. So sadly, I'm going to have to cut. Whoops, that's not the same pattern. That's not the same pattern. I'm going to have to cut into another piece of the beautiful flowers. It's hard to choose sometimes what Stampin' Up! Makes them so pretty, isn't it? At least I find it hard to choose. Okay, so we're going 2 by 5 3/8. 1, 2, 3/8. There we go. I hope you guys are seeing that this has like the cutest little check pattern in it. Can you see it? There we go. You like the cloudy paper. Well, there you go. All right, so we are just going to add a little bit of glue to this. Hopefully this comes out right away. You know how sometimes it doesn't. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to add these 2 panels. Oh! Son of a gun. I did it to the wrong side. Okay, I'm going to set these aside and use them for something else. Put them on a separate table so I don't used those by mistake. Can you believe I just did that? See, I get chatting. All right, so I'm doing 5 3/8. Boom, by 2. Boom, boom. A little less pink in this, but you like this cloudy paper, is what you were saying. It is very pretty. I am going to just do something a little more textured. I'll post what I do with those other panels after. It'd be just a little too much with the flowers, I think, with all the flowers I'm going to add to this. Well, thank goodness that's going to be covered up, huh? Okay. So I'm just going to add these 2 panels like this and like this. And they're opposite, but that's okay. I like the effect of it. All right. Now, thank you for making me feel better, guys. Okay. So now we are going to cut a piece of, actually, I'm going to cut a piece to fit in there, and maybe I'll mix it up just a little, although I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to stick with the same pattern. Don't mind me while I rummage through for the paper here. So the inside piece is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. Just a standard layer. Now at this point, I'm also going to cut a 4 by 5 1/4 white piece because it's easier to attach now rather than later. And I'll show you why I say that. So we are going to have a little pop-up on the center. Let's put this piece in first. I kind of miss my tape runner. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a wet glue girl because I usually have it all over my hands. So we're going to do a little pop-up in here. And so it's going to be really hard. It's almost like this will be the whole card front. So I am going to stamp and use the back for my greeting. So let me grab that real quick. So I am taking the... I couldn't be happier to have you as my friend. And I'm going to stamp that in Flirty Flamingo. And good morning, Gail. Yay. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Okay, I'm just going to stamp this on a piece of scrap. Hee hee. Just so I do have it upside down. So I need to go this way. I'm going to put it like this. If we have an extra flower, it's a little crooked. I'm going to do that again. If we have an extra flower, I may embellish. There we go, that's better. And if not, then I may use a strip of that extra DSP. So it is by far, let me close this so I don't put things in it. So it's easier to do this now before you get the pop-up in there. Okay, so that's my big tip on this fun fold. Okay. There we go. All right, now we need a little strip of Flirty Flamingo. Whoops. And my Flirty Flamingo is going to be 3 inches. I will put this on my blog later with all the dimensions. 3 inches by 1 3/4. And then we're going to turn it, and we are going to score it at 3/4 of an inch. 1 1/2 inch. So I did the 3/4 over here, so I have to turn it around. So that was the 3/4. 1 1/2. Oh! That wasn't supposed to happen. So this is 3 inches by 1 3/4 inch. Good thing I had the extra there, huh? All right, so we're going 3/4 inch score. Put my blade way down the bottom so I don't make that mistake again. 1 1/2 inch score. Has anybody done one of these pop-ups before? And 2 1/4 score. Okay. Now, we are going to basically fold this into like kind of like a little, almost like a gatefold card. And then I'm going to fold it in half and burnish it here. You did. I'm not the only numbskull, huh? Okay. The best way, I think, to do this is to fold it in half and put the score line here matching the score line there. That way, when it opens, it'll be like that. So, we want to put glue here and here. And I am actually going to use my stronger tear and tape. Not tear. Oh, is it gone? This is the Seal Plus. Looking for my little rubber mat to get it going. There we go. So, I just pulled my cardstock. Maybe I shouldn't have used this. So I was afraid that the wet glue wouldn't dry fast enough for what we have going here. So that, yeah, I'm going to use the wet glue. I am not a good advertisement for the tear and tape. The Seal, I call it tear and tape. It's not tear and tape. Seal Plus is a little more difficult to work with than regular Seal for me. But I'm not going to lie. I had that same issue with regular Seal when I started using it. So I think it's just the learning curve. Now again, I'm putting this fold into that fold, and then I'm putting it down. I'm going to try to make it square there. Okay. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Okay. See what's going to happen here? See that? But see how it's pulling away? Because it really needs to adhere. So, let me put a block on that. I'm going to grab a sip of coffee. I hope you don't mind. You make us all feel better by showing us even the pros. Well, first of all, Pat, let's be clear. I'm far from a pro. But, yeah, we all make mistakes, right? It's life. If you can't laugh at your mistakes, then life is long. That's all I have to say. Okay, I think we're ready. Okay, I'm going to let it sit for another minute just to dry. In the meantime, let's decorate a couple of our squares. So I am going to turn these at an angle like this. These are actually too big. Okay, let me go get my stylish shape dies. We're going to cut a smaller one. We want smaller ones. This will be great for the inside, but we want smaller ones on the front. So I want two that won't quite overlap, but I want them to touch. I think I'm going to try these. Okay, so let's try these. Hold on here. Get out my fancy-dancy baby boss here. Sorry that you have to watch this. I try very hard to make it so you don't have to sit through this, because I know it can be boring. Now, here's the cool thing. I am going to double up on this paper, and I am going to run this through once, and I am going to get 2 cuts out of this. Here's another tip for you. Don't put your die square like this. It won't cut as well, and it also will warp the die a little. Not that that makes it less functional. So you want to put it through kind of at an angle so that one point hits first, not a whole row. Just need to find my other clear plate. I thought I just grabbed it. Have no fear. I have another one over here. I am sorry. I thought I was so well prepared this morning. Thought we were going to get through this relatively quickly. So remember, if you have the mini boss, you don't want all 3 plates lined up exactly. You want them to be a little staggered, and then they go through very easily. And let's hope we get the 2 solid cuts out of this. I think we will. Yes, we did. Okay. Oh, there's my other clear plate. See? I knew I had it. Oh, well, the things we do. You know why I'm putting this back in front of you? Because I lose them otherwise. Do you know I had a whole set, and no one's been here, so I have no one to blame but me. I had a whole set of these dies go missing the other day. Joelle and I have been off our bonkers trying to figure out what happened to them. Okay, now, I am thinking, oh yeah, this is going to work now. There we go. Okay, this one, we're going to adhere like this, and it's going to sit like this. So we want to put these 2 so they kind of overlap. And the reason why I'm laying it out is because I kind of, oh, that was the perfect size. I kind of want to see the size here to know if putting that there is too big, and it really is. So I'm going to place a couple of these flowers. You know what would have been good for this? And I should have cut more than one. I guess I could, technically. You know what, maybe I will. Look what I did in this class. See how I 3-dimensional those flowers? I may go back and add that to this after the fact. Okay, and then I think I'll do the big one here. So, or maybe even 2 here, because that is so big. Okay, so now that I know that that's going to work, let's decorate these ones first. So I'm going to pop these up on dimensionals. And I guess I could, if I really wanted to, cut little squares to go in here. Like this, to put these on. Oh, and I think that would look so much better, so I am going to do that. So, let's see. What do we have here? We have, this is almost a 2-inch. It's a 1 15/16. So I am going to go to 1 13/15. We're getting very mathematical here. And let me try, let's see if that's going to fit. I'm going to go a little bit smaller. We're going to go 1 3/4. Just a tiny bit more. I need a new blade. Okay, that's going to be good. So let's go to 1 3/4. And another 1 3/4. And so while we're here, I might as well cut one for this as well, because I do think that's going to need it. So this measures at, here's a trick for you. Sometimes when you have a lot of gunk in your track, you get that frayed edge that I was just going. Sometimes it's a dull blade, but sometimes it's your track is all gunked up. So clean out your track every now and again. I just have my pick-me-up tool. I have the spatula part of my pick-me-up tool. And I am just running in along my track to pull out the gunk. So there's a little tip for you that'll help extend the life of your blade. Okay, so this is coming in at 1 2 3/8, 2 3/8. So I think I am going to go to, let's see, 15/16. So I went 1 2 3/8 left. less. So 1, 2, 3/8. So 1, 2, 2 and 3/8 I'm going to do. 2 and 1, 2, 3/8. Again, I will put this all on the blog, I promise. 2 and 3/8. But you know what? I am going to write myself a note on that so that I make sure I get it right. Flamingo is 2 and 3/8 squared. And this one was, memory test, 1 and 3/4 squared times 2 pieces. Okay. Let's make sure this one fits. It fits, but see how ratty it is because my track was not clean? I hope I have it. I hope I have it. A little piece of sanding paper. Oh, I have an old Stampin' Up! Sanding block. We don't have these anymore. But just a little piece of sandpaper. Just go down to your husband's workbench. Grab a piece. Is that sexist? I'm sorry. Maybe it's your workbench. Hey, Kay. Good morning. Lynn, how are you? White Mountains. There you go, girl. By the way, I got your letter, Lynn. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I haven't reached out to thank you for that. So, thank you. And I'm sorry I didn't get your return phone call. I got your letter before I got to return your phone call. Okay. There we go. I just cleaned those up a bit. Like I said, little piece of sandpaper will go a long way. So I am going to, I have a rough edge. I'm going to put that down. See, I let this sit too long without a cover. Now it doesn't want to come out very well. Okay. So let's put that there. Get that nice and centered. And take my block and just put it on there so that it's nice and flat. And let's take this one. Put a little glue on here. You're probably going to hear my dogs bark. I think they see someone walking by. I apologize. And let's put this one down. Like that. Boy, the stitch border, you probably can't see it. The stitch border looks so nice going around the pink. Flirty Flamingo, sorry. You know, I mentioned yesterday, if you hadn't seen yesterday's video, Stampin' Up! Announced that they're doing a color refresh. So the new catalog in May will be a color refresh. They haven't done one in 5, 6, maybe even 7 years. And they have not told us what's going. So I don't suggest you run out and buy every single color, but if you have some favorite colors, if you have a certain, a few ink pads that you love, maybe you love the pastel family. If you don't have all the ink refills, I suggest you do it sooner rather than later. And I only say that because once they make the announcement, it will go very quickly. So I didn't get this edge super clean. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the paddle blade here and just smooth that out a little. Shave it off like that. There we go. You don't want to wait until they make the announcement because you will lose out, sadly. So keep that in mind. Oh, these are going to be on the diagonal, so I want to place them on the diagonal. So I'm going to put one kind of to the left with some leaves. Misplaced my dimensionals here. And then the other I'm going to put to the right so that they're kind of a little different from each other. Maybe like that. And let's put a white leaf on here. So like I said, this was scrap paper. I had stamped on this. And so I can't wait to show you my in-person Stamp Club card that I did. I'm not going to show it because I don't want to spoil the surprise for my local girls. But I cannot wait to show you next week after my local girls have seen it because it's really so pretty and I'm so happy with it. Okay, so this one I'm going to put to this side. So that one I put to the top and to the left. This one I'm going to put more to the bottom, to the right. And I'm going to use different leaves for this one. Just for a little artistic something something. And then we're going to put in a little white one here just to break up all this pink like that. Okay, let's adhere these down. So I'm only going to put glue in the center because the points will be hanging off, okay? And I'm going to do them at the same time so that I make sure I get them lined up well. Okay. I think like that. And hopefully they fit. So I'm going to overlap the points just, oh, maybe I don't have to if I pull this one down just a little bit. There we go. Because we want it to fit in that envelope. Okay. Now I'm going to do this while we work on our big block. Be a little bit careful because it's going to sit like this. So we need to make sure that we don't go past this point. Just going to put that like that. So I think I'm going to kind of put in a few different flowers here. And I'm going to put them all up on dimensionals. So this one I'm going to keep the dimensionals more, you know, you got to make sure that the dimensionals, I want to see that point, just so that you know it's a square turned on its side. And this one, I'm going to keep the dimensionals more on this side, because that one, it's going to hang off a little bit. See how the flower's hanging off? I don't want the dimensional here. So that's the, you just have to be careful of that when you're placing them. That's why I always put my flowers down first to try to get a look at what they look like. Oh, wait a minute. It's going to sit like this. So I'm going to put this one like this. And let's stick maybe this one in here like this. And I don't know if there's enough room. Oh yeah, there'll be enough room here to put this one. Yep. Yep. Let's put this one in here. It's kind of like a puzzle, you know. I actually overlap this leaf over this flower. There we go. Okay. Let's tuck a couple white ones in here. Hey, Zana, how are you? Oh, well, you know what? That's good that you have all the re-inkers, because you can always put them on the little spots that we sell, the little blank ink. What are they called? They come in like 5 or 6, and they're like the little ink pads that come in the paper pumpkins, and you can ink those. I'll slip that there. Let's put another one in here. Again, if you're just tuning in, this was a piece of scrap paper that had ink on the back, but I knew we weren't going to see it, so it's going to sit like this. I need to make sure it doesn't go past this point wherever I put it. I think I'm going to put it going in this direction, like this. There we go. Okay, now that we have that, this is our pop-up part. We want to add ink, so what I'm doing is, I know you can't really see, but from the back, I'm using my finger to mark how much of this we're going to glue, so that I know. This is the most awkward position I've ever had with my wrist. And we're going to just make sure we get nice glue on that. And then, I'm going to kind of, I hope you can kind of see this. I'm going to kind of close it a little bit so that I get it in there, and then I'm going to push it down. I like the placement north to south. Maybe just a little bit down like that. Just, there we go. Okay, again, I'm going to put that block on there. Now, whew, that was a workout. Okay, now I'm going to take a few of these little loose frosted dots. Again, if you sign up for the class, I do have some available. And not many. I will shut it off when I run out. And they are coming back, though, in the online store. So I just want to put a few scattered here. Now, I've tried everything. I've tried glue dots. I've tried a lot of different ways. This, to me, was the easiest. I mean, you have to do you in placement. But this is what I found the easiest. Now, I also think I'm going to use the pink because I do think that they are the biggest contrast to this yellow background, and I do think that they will show up better. Ah, this guy stuck to my finger. There we go. Okay, let's flip one more. Maybe we'll do... So they're different sizes. I'm using all the big ones. I'm flipping them over because they're flat on one side. Hopefully you can see that. They're flat on one side and rounded on the other. Don't know that you could really see that, but will you trust me? So they're easy to glue down. I actually like these way better than... Oh, you know what? Let's do some in the center of these flowers. I was going to do these flowers three-dimensional, like I did on this card. Here, where is my card? See how I did that three-dimensional? But it may be a little too much. So I think I'm just going to add a little dot in the center. There. And there. So I'm going to add a yellow one. I'm going to flip him over. There we go. A yellow one to the pink. And a pink one. Let me flip it. There we go. To the yellow. Like that. And maybe we'll add them to the center one too. Might be a little much, but that's okay. This card is a little bit over the top, isn't it? I'm really loving how this turned out. I didn't pre-build this. I just kind of pre-built a mock version of how it would go, but the papers and the layout, I like to do that live so that you see all my mistakes and you see my thought process. I mean, it's fun to watch when the layers are together and you just watch someone put it together. But sometimes it's fun to see. I'm trying to flip that guy over. There we go. Sometimes it's fun to see, you know, what you're thinking when you're doing it. Because, you know, maybe it helps you guys too. Okay, that is definitely an over-the-top card. Isn't that cute? I don't want to move it too much because I don't want those dots to come flying off. But there you go. Okay, you like the Tombow. The Tombow tape runner or the Tombow liquid? I'm not going to lie, I do miss the old Tombow tape runners. Okay, let's see. What works better, the Tombow or the glue dots? If you're referring to the Tombow liquid glue, I think I like it better for these particular gems. And I like these gems because I don't know if you guys have ever found, but some of the adhesive back sequins and stuff, the adhesive part stays on the backing, and then you have the dot that has no adhesive on it. So these are kind of, you know what you're doing. All right, so now we're going to flip this over and add a little bit to the back. And I'm not pushing down real hard because I don't want those dots to move, but I think we'll just add this little stripe and maybe a flower. And I might have to bring my baby boss back out here. So this was the scrap from where I cut the front panel. I like to use all the scraps. Okay, and I'm just going to set this here. Like so. And again, I'm being very careful. I don't want to push down and knock those dots that are just barely hanging on with the glue right now until they dry. They'll be dry in a minute. I could sit and leave this, but okay, let's find a flower. The pink or the other color? Maybe the other color. Let's do one of these. And you know what? I'm actually going to hand trim this because I do think that while we're talking, this will actually be quicker than bringing the machine over. If the machine was sitting right here, it would be quicker to die cut. But because I put the machine back to the other side, this will be quick. And I have to tell you, I like to hand trim. You guys like to hand trim? I know some of you hate to hand trim. I think Jennifer's on here, and I think she hates to hand trim. Okay. So the good thing about the Irresistible Blooms class that I am currently holding a registration for, there's no hand trimming. It's all been done for you. Okay. And I think I'll pop that right there. But I'm going to put it flat. I am not going to put it on dimensionals because it's the back of the card. And there's so much dimension to this, we may not get this in an envelope if we're not careful. So I just want to look and see. I'm going to set that like that. And I'm going to put those leaves like that. And then I'm going to add some glue to these leaves. And we are going to be done. I think this was a long video. I'm sorry. Cute, right? And I'm not going to add a dot to this either because, like I said, it does need to fit in an envelope. So there we go. If you make this card, give it to a card maker. You like the edges when they're die cut. That's a very valid point because they get the nice outer rim around it. I'm not very good at fussy cutting, but I do enjoy it while watching TV. Yes. Yes. Oh, thank you, guys. Okay. Hi, Jane. Thank you. All right, so there we are. Now, I guess technically you could put a greeting in here or something if you wanted to. I just kind of, you know, it'd be beautiful sitting on a mantle or something. Just didn't want to take away from the beauty of it. So, yeah, well, so this card, if you didn't want to squish it, you definitely could put it in a gift bag, you know, or make a little pocket on the front of the gift bag. So there's my Fun Fold Friday. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Like I said, I will take pictures and I will post the measurements. In fact, I'm going to do that right now because my day is ending now, believe it or not. I'm going to start prepping for a baby shower I have on Sunday. So I will do that now before time gets away from me. And all the measurements will be on the blog along with everything I used. And so check that out later if you want to. Okay, I keep looking at this little spot thinking that I got some ink on this flower. And then I realize it's the part of the corner. So there we go. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous weekend. Stay warm. Stay dry. Don't break your back shoveling if you're in a heavy snow zone, which I know a lot of the country is. And most importantly, I'm very grateful for you to be here. Have a great weekend. Wait a minute. Can you link the blog, please? Sure. You know what? I'll go back and alter the links down below, and I will also post it to my Facebook page for you. All right? Thanks, you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.